You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Very grateful to have on with us from Maccabi Haifa, Simon Farine. How are you, Simon? How you doing out there?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Awesome as always. Got to ask you though, straight off the bat, you're coming from a Canadian background, something that the Israeli media, the Israeli public doesn't see so often in the Super League here in Israel. What has been the biggest challenge or the most arduous difficulty for you to get over here in order for you to have an easier time?
I guess kind of moving to a foreign country where you have kind of no family or friends is always a tough thing, but Maccabi Haifa did a pretty good job of setting me up, getting along with the team incredibly well. I guess kind of coming from Canadian basketball and Canadian university basketball, the level of play is a lot faster and more athletic, and kind of just getting used to that.
All right, now, you started off, before you got to the Canadian basketball collegiate level league, if you may, you started off playing in Green Bay, or, well, should we say it was a lack thereof in Green Bay that caused you to go to Nova Scotia. What was that like in Green Bay when you were there on the bench, the frustrations? Walk us through that.
So out of high school, I went to University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, which is in the Horizon League, which is a pretty solid mid-major conference. I started off the year getting decent minutes, and as the season went on, kind of played less and less. And coming from Toronto, like a big, bustling city, and going to a city like Green Bay, I just kind of wasn't really happy with the experience, and to the point where I thought it'd be best for me if I was to transfer, and I ended up going back to Canada to a school called Dalhousie, which is in the east coast of the Maritimes of Canada, in Halifax.
I know that
very
well.
One of the better decisions I've made, I think.
Halifax is a wonderful city, and for those who've never been there, you've got to go. The northern part of Nova Scotia kind of looks a little bit like the Highlands in Scotland. I love the place, honestly, and I'm sure you enjoyed your time in Halifax. What was your biggest moment, your best experience that you had while playing in Halifax?
My team won our conference title, I guess, 2 out of the last 3 years I was there, and kind of winning. Even though we didn't, I guess, fare like we wanted to at nationals, winning a conference title is kind of was a pretty big thing for my school. It's only done it once before in history, so I was able to do it twice there, and it's kind of just a special thing to do. Before
you made your decision to go, or focus rather, solely on basketball, you were a 3-sport star, and being in Green Bay, Wisconsin for a little bit of time, would you have thought any kind of imagination about being a football player, considering what the Packers represent to that town, to that state?
I still always and will miss playing football, but basketball is my love, really. And I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan, actually. So
sorry to hear
as much as everyone there loved the Packers, I tried to stay to my Bills roots.
See, this is so weird. You're into the Bills, and Yossi, who's a Brooklynite, is into the Green Bay Packers.
But I understand, because he's growing up in Toronto. The Bills are,
the
Bills play a couple games in Toronto.
All right, fair enough. Also, this is close by. Okay, fair enough. All right, you get a pass there. Now, Simon, I want to ask you, currently you're playing for Maccabi Haifa, and not too long ago you're playing in the Maccabi Games as a representative from Canada. Did you think when you came to Israel that, hey, a couple of years from now I'm going to play professionally in Israel?
I was kind of hoping that. I wasn't really sure what would happen. When I came down for the Maccabi, it was a great experience. It was my first time coming to Israel. My dad was able to come with me, and the team did well. I got to see the country and kind of just really enjoyed my time here, which made me want to play when I was done university here.
I got to ask you, I've been to both of these places, and you're from Toronto. You might be able to help me out here, because I've been having this argument with a couple people here between Vancouver and Toronto. Now, Vancouver showed the world what type of city it was after it lost Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals to the Boston Bruins. Where would you like to go visit first if you didn't have family in Toronto? Is Toronto a nicer city, or is Vancouver a nicer town?
it has to be Toronto. There's just much more going on. It's the biggest city in Canada and the best city in Canada.
Very nice. What's funny about that, Simon, is that question is through a chat, and we consider kind of a lowball question because we had Sylvan Landesberg on last week. I asked him a lowball question, and now we've asked you one, so now things are even. The chat, by the way, is from Dylan Stern. So, Dylan, okay. So if you see him out there, make sure to give him a special smile from us.
Okay.
Now, you were named captain your senior year for your college team. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was actually captain for 4 years there.
What was that like? Because obviously, to be a captain, you got to show certain leadership qualities. And what did that mean to you when the staff and the players came up to you and said, "We want you to be captain"?
It meant a lot, actually. I kind of realized that the team looked up to me, and it made me kind of lead more by example than I was used to, kind of with some of the young guys there, making sure not only on the court but stuff off the court, like coming to practice on time, getting schoolwork done. I kind of had to be a leader like that, and something that I relished and quite enjoyed.
All right, now this is a question we asked both Sylvan and Jermaine Jackson 2 weeks ago. I'm going to ask you this as well. You play in the city for Haifa, and Haifa is very much a mixed city. Jerusalem is mixed as well, but it's kind of zoned out, if you will. We actually have Jewish quarter and Muslim quarter, Christian quarter. But in Haifa, on one side of the street, you'll see a synagogue, and the other side of the street, you will see a pork store. What is that like to you?
I guess I don't really notice it. I think coming from a city like Toronto that's so multicultural, you're kind of used to seeing everything on the streets, and I kind of like the fact that Haifa is mixed and everyone gets along here, and it's a really beautiful city to live in.
Yeah, I mean, that's very nice, because we're in a room right now, 3 Jews, and we don't get along at all. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Nobody ever listens to me. What can I do? It's not something I can handle too well, but I try. I do try. I got to ask you, though, what is something that you miss from home that you cannot get here or that you have difficulty finding here?
I think besides friends and family, I kind of miss Mexican food. Like, there's no tacos in Haifa. And I haven't been able to find any here. So with kosher being so prominent.
I hear that, Chipotle, and you're not going to really find that wherever you're going to go in Israel, that's for sure. But I think
exactly.
I don't know what your feelings are with regards to poutine, because it's I find it to be more of a Quebecois type food, but I also have been having some trouble finding that here as well. But hey, I guess we have something in common.
I guess being an athlete, I try to stay away from the poutine.
Fair.
Good for you. Speaking again of being a professional athlete, you're a very young guy, and you're playing at a very high level in a very competitive, tough league. Not to sound corny or too obvious, but what are your aspirations for going to the NBA?
Everyone's dream. I kind of want to establish myself as a player here first, and I kind of hoping my chance will come where I can get some good minutes and kind of show Israel what I can really do.
All right, very nice. Now, you mentioned again your love for football, again, not as, maybe the same as basketball, but big playoff games come this week. I'm just going to ask you, what are your predictions? What's going to happen? The Broncos, led by Tim Jesus Tebow, go to the evil Bill Belichick in New England. Who do you like in that ball game?
Even though being a Bill fan, and I despise all other AFC East teams, I think the Patriots are going to win easily. I kind of, as good as it is for Tebow to do what he's doing, I'm not the biggest fan of him either.
Oh, right. Oh, that's juicy.
He doesn't believe.
It's okay. It's all, it's all good. I mean, whatever you want to say is fine.
It's almost a free country. It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the United States or Canada, but it's kind of getting close there. Do you like the Patriots then, even though you're an AFC East guy and therefore you're a Bills guy and hate the Patriots, do you like them to take the whole thing?
I like them to make the Super Bowl. I think an NFC team give them a game, being either the Packers or the Saints or the Niners. So I'm not really too sure. I can't make a bold statement like that for a Super Bowl winner.
All right, I like it. That's honest there. We had Pete Shepard for Patriots.com, and he likes them to win the whole thing, but he's a little biased there, Simon.
Well, that's because he's from, he's in New England. He gets the whole deal up there.
Of course, he
said Gillette Stadium. He has his the radio station in Gillette Stadium.
Right.
For crying
So
out
he's
loud.
kind of got to toe the company line.
Before we let you go, because we know you're busy and you got a bunch on your plate, I just got to ask you, you're in Israel. You see everything that's going on. What do you feel when you leave the country and then come back? What's the feeling? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
We were able, like, as our team, to go. They gave us a week off during our bye week.
Right.
And so I actually went home. I went back to my university, practiced with the team, and saw some friends. Like, it was such a short time that when I came back, it kind of almost felt like I was coming back home. And, like, this is kind of where I live now. And I was on a vacation back to Canada, then back home to Haifa.
Ah, nice.
But you did officially make Aliyah, though, correct?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
My dad was actually born in Israel.
Oh, wow. Oh, very nice.
So I had a passport and was a citizen before Aliyah, but the Maccabi Haifa kind of encouraged me to make Aliyah. Aliyah helps with kind of getting settled into the new country with a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
So I did make Aliyah, and so I have the passport, and my dad's a hoot, and I'm a full-blown Israeli.
Yeah, there are one or two things, Simon, you need some help with. It's not so simple to move here, but
this bureaucracy here.
Just
that
a
they call
tad.
Israel.
Just a tad, Simon. All right, Simon, we know you're busy. We really appreciate the time. Good luck to you and Maccabi Haifa the rest of the way.
And even though I would love to sit here and chat with you about Halifax and Nova Scotia, it'll have to be another time.
Okay, I just want to say hello to my friends Tango, Candy, Captain, and Vern listening back home. But have a good night, guys.
All right, thank you, Simon. Appreciate it.